from the looks of things, it might appear that I'm like going back to school or something, but I'm not. I am in fact tackling a project I've attempted a couple times, but I've never completed. So I'm attempting to complete it today, or at least to make a big stride toward completion. And that is organizing my own recipe binder. And the fact that I haven't managed to do this is kind of silly because I did in fact design this recipe binder as well as both of these recipe binders. It's literally my day job. So the fact that I make a living off of selling these recipe organization systems to people and then I myself do not have my recipes in order makes me feel kind of silly. But today we are going to remedy that, at least a good part of the way. So I actually have 2 recipe books that I've previously used, this one for desserts and this one for regular recipes. They're both in shambles. They have a combination of just random recipes printed off the internet, recipes I've typed up on my own printables, and inside they are very dirty, they're very disorganized, they're full of crumpled papers and sheet protectors. They've been extremely well loved and well used. In the past, I've always tried to be economical, responsible by grabbing binders from the scratch and dent bin at work. One has a flaw with the ring where it doesn't close completely. Sometimes they can be repaired. This one I've attempted to repair and it's just not working. So I'm going to put all my recipes in a new binder. This is my most recent binder, and I mean, I've designed all my binders, so of course I like all of them. They are all a reflection of my style. But this one in particular, out of everything that I've designed before, I feel like this is the most me. Maybe it's just because there's some novelty to it being my newest design or something, but I think it's adorable. So I got one made as a proof and I decided to keep it for myself. To go with it, I've created some recipe pages and recipe cards. So we have some full-size recipe pages, some recipe cards. I've already written this one out with a short recipe. And then I created some printables as well. I realized as I was working on this that I have really let the ball drop when it comes to offering my customers a lot of options for their own recipe binders. And I should have been offering more printables this entire time, because when I went to make my own binder, I realized I want a variety of pages inside instead of just having like 1 or 2 designs. That being said, I've made 3 new printables with these little plate designs on them. This one I printed double-sided. These are going to be available in my shop very soon, if not already by the time this video goes up. I will link them all below so you can find them, and these are like a low cost option. It will be like around $5 for a pack of 3. And also I'm going to offer them with 2 options, something I haven't done before. So there will be a version that has lines that you can print out and write your recipes by hand, and then there will be a design that looks like this that has blank fields where you can type in recipes with your own font of choice. I'm also trying to figure out how to make these into Canva templates, because I know a lot of people like to use Canva and find it really convenient. I went to the library this afternoon and printed out like 30 pages with the colored design on them, and I think they turned out super cute. I'll have to go back and, for instance, adjust this plate here that's too close to the edge. I'm used to having full bleed printing, so that was also like really good product research. I think the guy at the library wasn't used to having people print that many pages, because he seemed surprised, and then as I was finishing up like printing them and like coming to pay, he was like, "Do you work in a restaurant or something?" And I was confused for a second, because the library is right down the street from the cafe where I work on Saturdays. But then I realized he just was wondering why I was printing so many recipes. And so then I was like rambling on about, oh no, I'm just like an enthusiastic home cook and I designed these recipe pages and it's actually my job, and like way over explaining. It was really funny. So I have actually like 90 here. These are just plain printed pages that I've typed up over time and never printed out fully and put in a binder. Some of them I have printed out before, but like only a fraction of them, because I'm constantly reaching for my old binder and then wondering where the recipes are that I know I typed up. I'm going to start putting this together. All new tabs in my all new binder, some handwritten pages, some pre-typed pages, and we're going to make this recipe book finally work for me. One of my goals for this year was to get really good at making roast chicken. And so far, I've only had a few opportunities to try this. Last year, I did fish every week, so I got really good at making fish. So I was like, I'll just get good at making roast chicken this year. First time I tried it, I literally didn't serve dinner until 8 p.m., which is hours later than we usually eat, because the method I was using Julia Child's method, and it calls for opening the oven every 8 to 10 minutes to baste the chicken. And the oven cooled off way too much. So I'm trying again. I don't trust the chicken either, which is probably anathema to some people, but because you're turning the chicken constantly, I found it easier to actually just leave the chicken untrussed, and then I could like grab onto the chicken more easily with a pair of tongs to turn it over and over. And the other thing that I've run into is that turning it over means that the side that just got crispy gets soft again when it's laying in all the juices. So at some point in this chicken roasting process, I'm going to put it on a rack. And this is not a proper like roasting rack. I couldn't find ours. This fits in the pan, so that's what I'm going to use. It's sounding nice and crackly. There aren't many juices to baste yet, so I think I'm going to let it cook for a while longer before I eventually put it on the rack. I'll probably do that for like the last couple of turns, just to allow air to circulate around the whole chicken. With this, I'm making a recipe that's in my new cookbook. Under sides, we have a recipe I discovered from Instagram. It's garlicky roasted potato salad. And this is just like, I don't know, it's kind of like a regular potato salad, but instead of boiling the potatoes, you roast them so that they're crispy, and then you toss them in a light, very garlicky dressing. And it's a family favorite. It's really, really good. I've already chopped up potatoes, and they are currently cooking in the Instant Pot. They probably need turned about now. And then I will actually just let them cool, and then I'll serve it at room temperature. They don't have to be piping hot. I'll let those finish cooking, and then I'll make the dressing. And then I'll probably toss up a salad or maybe steam some vegetables to go on the side of this weeknight dinner. Unbelievably good. It is delicious. I'm gonna go in the garden and see if I can find some nice fresh green herbs to add to it. Chives and some lovely fragrant thyme. It smells amazing. I have finished removing all of the recipes from this book, so I'm done with that part. And now I get to move on to the desserts, which is the fun part, of course. This is the first recipe binder I designed, by the way. So this is like a special design to me. But this has, I mean, it's still perfectly useful. I just want to consolidate them all into one binder. If possible, I actually might need 2 binders, considering that I have over 100 recipes in here already. And this one's quite full, in fact. So we'll see. For now, I'm going to try to put them in here, but I might need to eventually. A lot of the ones that I have in here are printed like this. And so I think I might make a separate section in the back, or just maybe leave those in here to type up another day and then add to the new binder. I also made a discovery that might be somewhat helpful to other people trying to put their recipe books together. If you just put a big old chunk of sheet protectors, if you're using them, into the binder first, and then go through and one by one add the tabs and the recipes for each section, you'll save yourself a lot of time going back to add more and more sheet protectors, because that's how I was doing it back here. It took me forever. So I just put a bunch of sheet protectors in, and then one by one I'm going to start adding tab dividers in, like so, and then add all of my cookie recipes. And then once I've added all the cookie recipes and I know exactly how many sheet protectors I need, I can put the next tab in and move on to the next section. The set that I'm adding here are a set of tab dividers designed exclusively for dessert categories. So if you're someone who has tons and tons of dessert recipes, these are perfect for you. They have cookies, cakes, pies, ice cream, custards. There's even a section for miscellaneous desserts like tiramisu. I last checked this about 10 minutes ago and the juices were running mostly clear, but they were still a little bit red. This is not, it's very juicy. This is not the most conventional way to check if a chicken is done, and it's definitely not the most conventional way to baste a chicken, but it's working for me. And I think, I feel like that's done. My meat thermometer broke recently and I don't have a basting tool, so I'm really not set up well to be roasting a chicken. But if this thing is not done, I will be very surprised, because how could it not be done? I also have some green beans steaming. That's not the light. Let's see. This thing has got to be done. There's just no way it's not done. Are those juices running clear or no? This is the part that always puzzles me. Here's how I'll put it. The juices are running clearer than they were 10 minutes ago. But I'm doing that thing where I'm like gaslighting myself into believing that it's not running clear, just to be on the safe side. I'm going to put it back in for another like 10 minutes. And then we're going to say it's done by royal decree. We pulled it out and sliced up a leg, and the final verdict is, it's done. So now it's time to eat. While I was working on dinner, and between like cooking and checking things, I was able to make some more progress on my recipe book. It's now quite full. This is where we're at. So let me open it up first. There are drinks. I need to get some sheet protectors that hold 5x7-inch photos or recipe cards. There are some that I recommend that I'll leave linked below, but I still need to order them for the few recipe cards that I have written recipes on. These are ideal for shorter recipes that don't take up as much space. So we have drinks, then breakfast and baked goods. So I went for a combination of these decorative pages and simpler pages that I could just print at home. My sheet protectors are pretty wrinkled, so that is definitely the covering and not the page. And also, I am using wide width tab dividers here instead of standard width. I offer both sizes so that people can use sheet protectors without them covering the page. Otherwise, sheet protector would only come out to about the edge of the sheet protector, and that pretty much undoes all the usefulness of having tabs in the first place. I also have a few of these full-size recipe pages that I think I'm going to use to write out some special family favorite recipes, and that will add a little bit more variety to what I have going here as well. I don't actually have that many dessert recipes. I realized I didn't have any chocolates, candies, pastries, ice cream, custard, or pudding to put in here. So obviously I need to type up a lot more recipes. I do have quite a few more to write down from things I have saved on social media, recipes I've saved to Pinterest, and then we have a whole family cookbook that's full of favorite family recipes as well. So I still have a lot of work cut out for me, but I made a ton of progress today, and I'm really excited to get closer to wrapping up this project. And honestly, it's a long-term ongoing thing. I'm going to continue to find and save and print new recipes, but now they are all consolidated in one fresh, clean book that I'm looking forward to using, instead of sort of dreading pulling out like a sticky, disorganized, tattered book. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. I hope you've enjoyed this process. If you're curious about the products that I've created, they're all linked below, and you can save 10% off your first order when you use the code WELCOME at checkout. So I'd love to hear what you guys are making for weeknight dinners. I'll see you next time.